I remember growing up as a kid, playing in the woods or going fishing with Dad or hunting or something like that, and just having to use a knife for something, having a task that needed to be completed, and a knife was the right tool for that task. My first experience making a knife, I went out to my dad's shop, and I didn't have any proper equipment. It was all woodworking equipment. I did what I could, and I cut the blade out of an old saw blade. And it was difficult. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't look up any tutorials or anything. I just thought I could do it. And it turned out pretty ugly, but I just kept pursuing it and kept wanting to make more. I am Jesse Jarosz, and I am the owner of Jarosz Knives and designer for KA-BAR. I guess early out when I started, I didn't really have any idea of what I wanted to do with knives. I just kind of made what I thought would look cool or be cool. But as I made knives and I used them, I realized that certain things just don't work. And so I tried to simplify my stuff as much as possible and keep things very clean, functional geometry, functional shapes. A good knife is a simple knife that just gets the job done. It doesn't need to have, the next crazy feature that is going to change the knife industry. It just needs to cut. That's what a knife is. It's a cutting tool. The whole knife making thing is kind of a journey. From the start, you really don't know what you're doing. You're trying to learn. You're trying to figure out what makes a good knife. Over time, you just kind of develop your own style. And once you establish that and people recognize you for being your own entity in the knife industry, relationships with companies like KA-BAR kind of come to be. They see that you're doing something that's kind of your own, and there's an opportunity there to not just satisfy a small group of people in the custom industry, but to bring those designs or features into a lot bigger picture. I think having a little bit of a military background kind of gave me ambition and drive, and it gave me a mentality to push through and become good at whatever I did. I always wanted to do my best and never quit. Now being a knife maker, I don't want to fail. I always want to push to be better. I don't want to become stagnant. I hope that I'm always evolving and growing as a maker. Usually when I come into the shop, I have a goal for that day. So I start most knives in a batch. I don't usually do a lot of one-of-a-kind or one at a time work. I can usually lay out a schedule for that batch. So if I have 20 knives, I know on this day I want to have this much done, or this particular part of those knives done. And every day there's something different to do, whether it be drill holes or tap holes or contour handles, finish sanding. But my favorite part is probably grinding blades. To me, putting the grinds in the knife really brings the knife to life. It gives that piece of steel a purpose. To me, it's always about making a better tool and something that works a little bit better than what I've made before, for working with whatever it is you're working with, whether it be on the job, on the construction site, or out in the woods. I just want to make a knife, and I want to design a knife that excels at whatever task is at hand. So it's just about refining skills, I guess. It's about being able to grind that blade a little bit better and get the measurements down a little bit tighter so that the geometry is this precise, and the handle ergonomics are finely tuned to fit into your hand and not have any hot spots or aggressive places where it's uncomfortable. I just want to make a knife that works well all around and is just enjoyable to use.